Good morning. I'm David Lawrence from Grant McGregor. I'm one of the founders of the company. And we actually thought just before Christmas, I would get together with my colleague Paul and we would talk about our core people-centric support package that we deliver to small to medium enterprise organizations throughout the UK. You thought it was a great idea to get together and maybe chat about our core people-centric uh, service that we deliver to all our customers.
Absolutely, David. We think it's really important that we can illustrate just what is included in this service and crucially how we've developed it over the years.
And it has, isn't it? I mean, when we've looked at where we started and where we are now, it really is chalk and cheese. You know, you look at the technology and what we used to use and what we used to support to now, very, very different times.
It's interesting, David. And straight away, how is the people-centric model being developed over at Grant McGregor's history?
I'd love to say that it was an overnight decision, but it was it was revolutionary when we look back at the existing customers and organizations back even 10 years ago when they would have outsourced IT. They would have that typical support from an organization, and they would consume their security, their antivirus, their backup, but on an annual commitment. And what we would find, and not just us, but our peer groups, you know, we would take over IT support for organizations, and you would suddenly be trying to be experts in all things backup and all things antivirus. You know, if you remember those days. And, you know, before we knew it, we were looking after 5 to 10 different products for antivirus and backups. And, you know, how could you build continuity and the support around that? And arguably that quality of service. So, you know, when we looked at what we could do differently, we decided that we would be that trusted advisor for organizations that outsource their IT to us. And they just really wanted to know that technology and the people were in safe hands. And ultimately, they wanted to make sure that the billing that they were receiving was clear and transparent. And historically, that wasn't the case. You know, you remember this, you had annual commitments for software, and then they had monthly support. So, all that was kind of a nightmare. So the people-centric model that we developed was based on the individual. So the individual that needed support, the individual that needed assistance and security on what the device they were using. You know, we wrapped that around in one monthly cost, which made it a lot easier to support, service, and then ultimately deliver that product to the customer. You know, that you've heard a lot about me discuss the people-centric model, but you know, you're the one that I think is ultimately explaining it to customers and to the outside world. If you had to explain the people-centric model in less than a minute, what would you think are the key aspects that you think somebody would want to know about?
It's a great question. We'll start the timer now. I think crucially, at the end of the day, people just want to know that they're protected by a trusted advisor who respects them. And technology is technology at the end of the day, and we use a very small number of cybersecurity products that makes our team experts in the tools that they use. Everything that is required to protect modern businesses, but with still allowing them that freedom to get on with their day-to-day job. They know that they're protected, but they know that they're not going to be delayed or postponed in completing any tasks that they have. And crucially, if they do have to pick up the phone or jot an email or add into our live chat, they know that there'll be a dedicated service desk team there who will answer their query, help them, and that's all in an unlimited model as well.
And that's well explained. You know, I remember, and I think you remember this as well, that there's that coffee cup analogy, isn't it? So when you go into Starbucks, you're paying for somebody to deliver that coffee that you ordered, in a timely fashion, and obviously, if it was Starbucks at high quality, what you don't pay Starbucks for is to go in then pay for that one ingredient, the coffee, you pay for the cup, you pay for the hot water, and you're paying for the service. And I think you're right, that's, the service that we've wrapped together is that Starbucks analogy, that we're delivering the appropriate amount of products and services, and critically, you're right, Paul, security that any modern business organization requires. And delivering that peace of mind.
Absolutely. It's a great analogy there, David, as well. And, we say an unlimited model and unlimited support from our service desk team. Is it truly unlimited? What's the catch here?
No, it is truly unlimited. And I think, I think way back for an IT company I worked for years and years ago, that they were saying it was unlimited. They were monitoring the amount of hours, and when it got to a certain point, they would have those pointed questions with those their customers. That was just wrong. The model is unlimited, and I think critically as well that security and proactive advice plays such a big part in what we do. Uh, it's it's only a small part. The reactive service is a small part of what we do now. Going back 10, 50 years, it was very reactive because technology wasn't robust and reliable. But, I mean, some of our proactive services in People Centric. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's a sophisticated monitoring agent that we use, and not to get too technical, it uses a lot of AI elements to predict any potential issues on a person's device. But crucially, we've set up scripts and checks and automated tasks that allow us to be alerted if there is an issue or a potential issue on that device before it impacts the end user. So that means that we're creating tickets to go to our dedicated service desk team that are then looked at, completed, and then they're able to allow that person to continue with their day job. So they don't have to pick up the phone, they don't have to email, they're not waiting until their computer or their laptop breaks or they can't save something or there's an issue there, which causes downtime, and then they have to pick up the phone. And crucially, all these different elements of sophisticated proactive monitoring we're doing, they're all part of the monthly reports that we share with our clients as well.
Right. Okay.
So we're doing this work in the background, but we're not just saying we're doing it, we're proving it in the meetings that we have as well.
And I know you're seeing from organizations that we've taken over the IT from, that they're seeing that proactive service. We were more expensive than the IT company that we replaced. And I think a lot of customers were maybe hesitant in that, but they've realized quickly that actually a large part of what we do is being proactive. And we're not just waiting for somebody to say, hey, do you know what? I've got a problem. Can you fix it? Because you're right. We want to make sure as much as we can that person within the organizations that we look after, they can do the day job, critically. And what about the other proactive services? I think you're probably best placed to talk about the quarterly business reviews that we have.
Yeah, we think these are absolutely crucial in maintaining our partnership that we have with our clients, because we're all people at the end of the day and we want to meet with people we know, we trust, and we know that are looking after us. And when we say IT, a partnership, that can be from a technological point of view, but really it's a human being point of view. We want to know the people we're working with on a day-to-day basis. We want to know, what they like about IT, what frustrates them, what issues they've had in the past. But crucially, we want to know that these people are supported well. They want to get their feedback. And also we want to know their long-term business goals as well. So if they have plans to grow, they have plans to move office, they have plans to add 5 to 10 people in the next year, these are all superb. So let's get Grant McGregor aligned with their business goals so that we can make IT easy for them, but we know that we're getting ahead of the game and we're planning ahead for these changes that really will make their life easier.
Yeah, and that's well put. And I think that's, like a great accounts firm, outsourcing your accounts, or tax advice, even those industries change. Technology changes so quickly and so often. So knowing that we have our customers' backs when there are changes or fluctuations in technology, and clearly some of the big ones are AI, disaster recovery, security, continuity. Those are some of the big ones that, change monthly, quarterly, annually, policies. So, you're right, we're really investing the time and effort in educating, but also advising, supporting our customers. And frankly, any organization should be treating the technology like that. Think of it, if you had an internal IT department, even for a small organization, that's their role, isn't it? To advise, to make sure that the organization's compliant and robust, and that actually they're secure. What about the strategy meetings we have with clients? So you talk a little bit about the quarterly business reviews. So that's kind of business as usual. The strategy reviews go, I think, a little bit more in depth into technology and strategy.
Absolutely. It's another kind of cornerstone of our partnership approach, in that, in the most respectful way, we're not afraid to challenge the clients and the people that we work with. And that goes with an education point of view as well. So we want to make sure that the people, the clients that we work with, are aware of the latest cyber threats. They know how to spot malicious emails and red flags and what they look like. But crucially, I mentioned we want to align technology with business goals. And that comes with the VCIO meetings that we have and our projects team have with our clients, in that we're looking at where advancements want to be made by the client from a technological point of view, but we're suggesting different pieces of technology that will make their life easier as well.
Okay, that's good to know. And is that extra, or is that included in People Centric?
So that's all included.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
from a technological point of view and from a cybersecurity point of view and the service desk element, that's all part of the people-centric model. But crucially, what we think is really important is that human element. So it's those quarterly business reviews and the VCIO meetings as well that do.
And I think that's requires some commitment from the organization, the customer as well, isn't it? Just to accept and to buy into that advice and direction, because that's ultimately going to benefit then to be, I guess, more commercially competitive, and not to have the embarrassment from a cybersecurity perspective if something does, or when it happens, knowing that people like us, have their back.
Absolutely. It's business reputation at the end of the day, David. And crucially, we want to have our clients back. And when we talk about, these reviews and the feedback that we receive, and crucially we action off the back of that, a lot of the strategy meetings we have are from an education point of view. And I don't know if you can talk about how we educate our clients about cybersecurity trends and crucially, the nasty stuff to look out for as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, it was only a couple of weeks ago, I was giving a presentation to one of our customers in the finance sector about cybersecurity, actually at one of their Christmas events. And you're trying not to make that a whole, dull uh, topic. But so, there's obviously a serious nature to it.
Of course.
But I think what our job is to firstly understand the customer. What we want to do is to be able to say, actually, for an organization your size and your fit and in your sector, you ought to be looking at these security solutions or these compliances, because not one size fits all. If you take an FCA regulated organization, they're going to need a higher level of tool set compared to an organization that might be an e-commerce website provider. So we try and give that right advice that is not just one standard for all. But our own journey, I think if you were uh, somebody looking to work with us or on a customer, you would want to make sure that we know what we're talking about. And when it came to our people centric solution, we've got that gold standard of it being compliant with ISO 9001 for quality and 27001 for security. So, that's a really great place to start, to have that reassurance, I think, for people that work with us or are choosing to work with us, that actually, we're tested, we're audited, and actually all that learning that we've done, we can pass that on.
Mm. It's a cliche, but we hold the keys to many castles. So I think it's really important that we have these standards. And one of the biggest accreditations that we assist our clients with is Cyber Essentials. And has that been thought of in our people-centric model?
Well, actually, yeah, it's a good question again, because the whole model of our people-centric approach has to, I mean, we are an IASME certified body. We have Cyber Essentials assessors, and the model has been integrated, Cyber Essentials has been integrated into the people-centric model. So everything that we're delivering through that service, from how calls are answered and logged, for application management with our customers, and that security piece, that's in line with Cyber Essentials. And again, it's not just a certificate, is it? It's actually, again, our own journey from where we had been to where we are now over those many years of those compliances that we've had to adhere to, that we understand those in depth for ourselves, and we're passing that on not just through us, through conversations, but actually through that service.
Yeah.
So we talked about security, and in 2024, and it's a large part of society, and organizations uh, ought to be treating security seriously, and the compliance aspect of that. W- As part of our people-centric model, what security do we have in that?
It's a great question. And it's one that when we work with new prospects, it's one of the most common questions they ask, because it's easy to be told that we'll look after you, but they want to do their due diligence and figure out exactly what tools are in place. And we mentioned it before, we work with a small number of cybersecurity tools that allows us to A, be experts in the solutions that we use, and B, when someone picks up the phone or there's an alert generated, we're not trying to figure out what solutions for what client. As part of the bundle, we have an antivirus, anti-malware solution.
Right.
We also have a web filtering tool. We look after the patch management and the updates, the critical updates for those devices. Additionally to that as well, we have an element of USB control, and we also include a desktop firewall, which is crucial in this day and age of allowing people to work from the office, to work from home, or to work from anywhere. We want that experience to be safe, smooth, but crucially not losing any speed in accessing data as well. And that's the core model. But when we have clients asking for an enhanced service, you mentioned FCA regulated clients that we work with that need that extra level of protection. What do we recommend then?
The essential security bundle of products and services you talk about, we do feel that that's the minimum the organization should have. So I think the question about the enhanced, I would love everybody to have the enhanced security package. But the reality is, your financial organizations, the FCA organizations that are leaning into not just looking at the risk of security or compliance, but actually seeing the competitive advantage of having that. So, we have had organizations, customers that have come over to us in the last couple of years that are working with us and have worked with us to implement that enhanced security package. And that's allowed them to really stretch into their own market to attract larger customers for them. So winning very large deals, but those large customers, requiring a higher level of compliancy on them. So the enhanced security package contains security awareness training, which we call it at Grant McGregor the human firewall, don't we? Because unfortunately, the weakest line of defense is still the poor user, the person that's trying to do their day job, and so to help them be aware of threats, both malicious and physical. So security awareness training is really important. We also include continuous cyber essentials. So instead of just a 1 year certificate, I'm compliant now. As we both know, cyber essentials isn't just a certificate on the wall; it's actually a continuous journey.
Correct.
So we've developed that within that enhanced security package, an annual 24/7, 365 days service that delivers that compliancy, and that's really good. Again, really good feedback on that. So the client is always compliant with Cyber Essentials. Right, we also include a security operations center from Bitdefender. So again, Bitdefender and the 4 security operations centers throughout the world have our back and our customers' back. And there's been some really good uh, examples of that, shall we say. And then latterly, password management, because passwords are just so out of control and everybody's got passwords everywhere. So from an organizational perspective, what do these organizations do when somebody leaves? Trying to unwind all the websites, usernames and passwords that that person's created. So there's like a location for that organization to put all their usernames and passwords and to be able to share those securely internally. And we call it the enhanced security package. You know, that will morph over the years into as other security services have, that will go into the people-centric model. But for now, it is a separate add-on.
It's interesting, and you've hinted at it, David. Can you let us know where that security operations center saved the day?
As you said, the human firewall. I mean, the poor user of the computers, completely bombarded with threats every day. There's been all the, common ones from phishing emails coming into your email box. People now phoning up pretending to be suppliers, invoice chasing when an invoice is due and changing the account details. So the poor person's, getting a lot of heat. We have had examples where one particular customer had gone through their security awareness training. They also have email protection, and they also have endpoint protection, so computer protection. And this poor person managed to get through all these levels of protection, even after being warned. So removing an unquarantined email, opening a file. But actually what saved the day was that security operations center from Bitdefender really protected us and that user and said, no, you can't double click on this file. And actually that software's got some really cool technology that it has auto restore built into it as well. So, with these encryption phishing emails that people get, we've got a lot of protection measures working in the background to help the poor person trying to do their day job.